Lunchbox is brought to you by Prezzo, another in a fine line of Burt Rappaport restaurants.
Hold the Mayo. It's time for Mike Mayo's Lunchbox. Find out what's being served with Mike, Beefo, and Lubie, the only show that covers food, sports, and the proper maintenance of your car. And now, a man who had the distinction of having an entire health clinic named in his honor, Mike Mayo.
I want the flim flam sauce with the awesome bay with shafafa on the side.
That's a good question.
It's a great question, actually.
Hey, good afternoon once again, and welcome to another edition of Mike Mayo's Lunchbox. We are live. This is something unusual for us. We are doing a show where there is no food in front of us.
We're not eating today.
And as you can see, there's scaffolding and there's a bar newly installed but not completely finished yet. That's because we're at what we call a work in progress. My progress is not so good today. Eddie Pozzuoli, you know him from such restaurants as Corvina Seafood Grill in Boca Raton, Prezzo, two of them, one in Palm Beach Gardens, one in Boca Raton, and yeah, Burt Rappaport was involved, but now Eddie is kind of the young blood who is driving it to new heights, and in a similar vein, we have the new to come Eddie and Vinny's right here, but it's in an old familiar spot for you guys. Welcome back to the Lunchbox. It's good to see you, Eddie.
Happy to be back. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, and to answer your question, he was listening to the theme song. He was saying, what's Chafafa on the side? Now, this tune, that is the opening jingle of the Lunchbox that we had from our WWNN radio days. It's basically a 1940s blues tune, and Chafafa is kind of a made-up word. It's a dish, and I've got to look it up again. It might actually be made from sweet potatoes, or it might be a very dirty reference to something that I will Google it after the show, but you are the first person
I love that he asked.
to
We've done that
ask.
for like 3 years. We've ran that open and no one said a word.
And Lubie, you put the tip jar away. I love
It's
how
just the white was clashing with the white.
no,
and it looked
like
weird.
here, look, the thing is, we got no food revenue coming in, and we're gonna have to work for tips
There you go.
today. And you know how the Let's Eat group loves talking about tips.
Oh my God.
And gratuities and service charges. Man, it was a hard weekend for me, Eddie. You were asking me before the show. Somebody got personal and invoked my mother. And, my late mother, God rest her soul. But somebody totally misconstrued something I was saying, because I have a running joke now where anybody posts a picture of a receipt and then it invariably sets off this frenzy, like chum in the water, sharks, 500 comments. And I say, have at it, receipt freaks. And then this woman who posted the receipt thought I was calling her a freak.
Oh,
and then she said my mother was a freak for ever having me. And I said, you might be right about that.
You're not going to fight her on that.
Oh, my God, Eddie.
Well, at least we're not the only people getting abused on there.
100%.
I feel a lot of sympathy in tune with what you folks in the hospitality business have to go through. And I try to be nice. I try to be civil. But you, again, you
Always
are
has a
genuinely
smile, takes care of his
nice.
people. Yep.
And what's going on here? This is so exciting.
A lot of action happening. I know we did a tour earlier showing showing the different areas, the stage area, the really cool VIP booth that we have. It's going to fit 8 people, all the banquettes, different color palettes, and it's really coming together now. Now that we have a lot of the framing done, and obviously there's still some of the darks from Tavolino's here as far as the wall is concerned and whatnot. But once we put the primer coat on everything, and then begin to put the wall coverings in.
It's always amazing to me how fast restaurants can come together, because often people say, we'll be ready next week. I mean, you're aiming for late January of 25, but it's just one of those things. I've been in restaurants that are opening like later that day, and I'm saying, how are they going to do this? And somehow it always comes together.
It always works.
And
Well, look, the construction's what takes a long time. Once you get construction done, the other stuff.
permitting takes a long
permitting
time.
takes
Getting the
lifetime.
approval.
Permitting takes a lifetime.
That was
And
about
then
an
the
extra
construction.
an extra month.
Pushing papers back and
Yeah,
forth.
it was-
Oh, this drawing, you got this wrong in the wrong place. And then you got to go with the bureaucrats and all that. But
oh, my wife's here.
uh-oh,
She
we've
won't
got
come near the
lovely
camera.
Kristen-
We've been
oh,
trying to get your wife on since we've started doing shows with you. She will never join us on the
Oh.
dais.
It's always good to see the whole family. Met your dad. I
we
must
love
have
that.
talked to him on the phone at some point, but I don't think I ever met him. And he's one of the Eddies in the name, Eddie and Vinny's. And as we were talking about, 3 generations represented at the latest incarnation of what was your family restaurant, Tavolino della Notte. Let's just set the stage. What's the address here first?
10171 West Sample Road.
In the heart of Restaurant Row, Coral
Yeah,
Springs,
this is
a
our prime time.
lot of good stuff around here.
Yep.
And it is begging for, once again, having a top-notch, upscale Italian restaurant,
Yep.
which is where you come in, right?
That's it. We're plugging the hole that never got filled after we left.
Yeah.
So
Honestly.
Tavolino della Notte, when was it first? It first opened again by your
2000.
dad and you and
So it was
family.
primarily my dad back. I was in college at the time. It
Okay.
was 07.
Okay.
Where did you go to school again?
Florida Gulf Coast.
Okay,
Oh,
very
nice.
nice. Yeah.
So I went away to school. This building's we've had in our family name for since the mid 90s.
Oh, wow.
Right.
So we had tenants in here, out of here, in various different ways. Like 1 bay, 2 bays.
Mhm.
One guy expanded to 3 bays, and my father's office was always like on the other 3 bays on the other side. And in 2007, when he decided to take the 3 bays from the previous tenant of ours and open up the original Tavolino della Nonna, the idea was never to kind of do what we ended up doing,
Right.
but it was more so to protect our real estate from having to go through another headache of a tenant not
Right.
paying rent
Right.
and all that stuff through, especially in 07, 08, like when they
Oh, yeah,
yeah,
that was the Great
the-
Recession, right?
was-
After,
yeah.
yeah, sure.
Real
So-
estate disaster. Yeah.
So that was his idea, and with me being away for school, he was an empty nester and apparently had a lot of extra time on his hands, and said, "You know
Open a
what? I'm going to
restaurant."
take my I'm going to take my chances in the riskiest business of them all."
Exactly.
And he did well. I
And
mean,
it
it
hit.
quickly
No.
became known as the
There was,
highest,
Yeah.
best restaurant, highest quality in Coral
North
Springs.
Broward, it was.
I regret that I can't believe I've never
it's
went in
crazy. You
here.
never came here. It was like a 10-pole
and-
place for this area.
and
And I
he-
kept hearing about it. And then, of course, the family, you guys ended up kind of selling the restaurant.
I'll rewind a little bit. In 2012, that's when we moved here. My wife and I, or my
Mhm.
girlfriend at the time,
Mhm.
we moved here and built the bar with the stage and all
It
that
became
stuff.
like
So
a big nightlife.
yeah,
place.
initially it was just a really small restaurant, beer and wine only. Very mom and poppy. But when we came over, we kind of brought that additional life into it with the bar and the entertainment and all that stuff. And that's where we started really building a name for ourselves
Mhm.
throughout the county, and even from Palm Beach County
Yeah,
down
people
to
come down
South
from
Broward.
Boca and Del Rey, right down the turnpike.
And
Yeah.
it turned into actually a really good meeting place for people coming up from Miami and south from Palm Beach. Because
Interesting. Yep.
you've got the Sawgrass that's here, and
Right
it's
there.
just you jump right off the highway.
It
and
is
it's like
very
a halfway
convenient.
meeting
Yeah,
point.
yeah, especially even down 75 Miramar and all
Yep.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So we would get a lot of people from Weston. It wasn't a long trek to get here, and
No.
it's not not a terrible ride home. And at the end of the day, what we wanted to create was a destination, because there isn't much else in Coral Springs to kind of bounce around and do.
Nope.
So what we figured was, let's provide the opportunity for guests to not only enjoy a great dinner here, but stay for entertainment, come for happy
Yep.
hour, kind of have an entire night here
Dancing, yeah.
rather than just kind of coming and going somewhere
a
else.
full Saturday night wrapped into
Let's
one
come right here.
one big check, hopefully.
Yeah,
No,
honestly.
but very
That's what Tavolino
reasonable.
was known. No, like when I moved to this area, I'm from Sunrise, which didn't feel like a different world, but I didn't really know all that Coral Springs had it. And I had friends, this was like they religiously came to Tavolino. Like this was their
Yeah.
spot. And when things happened here and I was going away, it was like weird. Like the way people would be like, "Do you hear about Tavolino? What's going on?" Like there'd be whispers. Like this
Well-
place was really like a foundational piece for Coral Springs.
I mean, the weddings, the bar mitzvahs, the christenings, like all of these life events that we had for people here
Mm.
before we sold the business, like, held a very close place
Yeah,
in a lot
this
of
is
people's hearts.
This is a
personal,
big deal thing.
very like you said, these are very strong emotions, familial bonds, and nostalgia,
Yep.
and all these things get wrapped up in
So-
restaurants. And you basically you guys and Runyon's has been around for
Ryan's been around a long time.
Yeah,
almost
84,
40
they
years.
opened, so, yeah.
40th year next year.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. So yeah, that's like the anchors of the what is.
And they're the best. Like, we get along very well with
Yeah.
that family over there.
Yeah,
And
and like
we bounce business off of each other.
and
And
Jack
just,
has passed it along to his kid, his daughter and son-in-law are running it, and now you're the new generation running this. And I know a lot of people were very happy when they heard the news. I mean, they weren't happy about what happened to the
Nobody
former
was.
owners,
Well,
especially you.
If anyone was.
that hurt a little.
But there's always a silver lining in that
Exactly.
you still own the property, you take it back, and now you're going to remold it into something that's going to be, hopefully a shiny object for decades to come. Right?
Yeah, and that's the goal with this is, this is too close to the family. We saw, we felt the impact of selling the business for not months, but years after the sale, with people texting us, calling us, we miss you. We those little things like,
and it's genuine.
Still, and it's just like, it kind of kept like cranking at my heart. And I'm like, if it ever comes back around, this is the right thing to do.
Okay. So you
and like, we're like, at some point the lease would expire, regardless of whether or not the guy can pay his bills or went out of business or whatever. Eventually, this was kind of gonna, we were going to come to this point, and we were fortunate that we were in position when it all happened. Said we can do this, and what's not a small undertaking.
No.
By any means. You guys you see
been
in what
talking
we're
about it
doing.
once,
and for people can't see the full panorama behind, but imagine, it's not quite a blank canvas. There are things that are being filled in. We see some, walls and the lighting fixtures are not up yet, but they're all strewn about. It looks like a lot of things are getting ready to go. And you were telling me that it's kind of like stages where the tile gets in, and then you start doing the finishing off the lighting, and then boom, 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 you get the furnishings and the kitchen
the
equipment.
furniture's ready to go. So that's actually sitting in a warehouse waiting for us to give the thumbs up for delivery. So we can't put furniture in until the tile is in.
Right.
Actually, tomorrow we've got a pod coming to put in the back, and everything that's in here
will go in the
going
pod.
out back.
Okay.
So we can prep the floor.
Do you got to pay like manual labor, or you got to schlep around and harm your own back? And
it'll be a little combination. Yeah. If you the old saying is, if you want something done right,
you got to do it yourself.
So we got obviously there's support, but we need to be here because a lot of the stuff we are saving, whether it be the speaker systems and stuff like that. I want to make sure that the stuff remains.
Yeah. Well, use the stuff you have. Yeah.
And when all is said and done, Eddie and Vinny's Coastal Italian Restaurant, is that the full name, will be hopefully opening by the end of January. Catch the tail end of the season. There'll be outdoor seating, about 42 seats outside, and about close to 200 inside. And the hours are going to be just dinners only. It's strictly a dinner.
Initially, we're going to open just for dinners. The goal for us is to open and provide the best experience from day one. I don't want to fluff it with lunch and brunch until I know that we can deliver dinner perfectly. We're not. This isn't a place where a landlord's got their feet to our neck to say, get open, and we're going to start charging you rent. This is something that is near and dear to us. It's our property. We want to make sure that we do it right.
Proper. Right.
And that's what's most important to us.
And explain a little bit. Okay. Eddie and Vinny's 3 generations. We got the father is Eddie, and your father-in-law is Vinny. You've got 2 children named Eddie and Vinny, and then you've got you're Eddie.
That's me.
So that's the name. Italian. I see the Everglades, but again, we're close enough to the water, so that's what you're going for, is the seafood Italian.
So what we want to do, and obviously there's not going to be any shortage of steaks or anything like that
veal.
Because veal,
Give me my veal chop.
But the idea is to not only have that stuff, but be able to offer the fresh swordfish like we have at Corvina. Where the fisherman drops off the entire swordfish at us.
Oh, wow.
The oysters, and having a little raw bar with crudos, and touching on super fresh seafood, but still having that core Italian menu.
Right. And you said the management team and the culinary team is in place, and that's again the
that's
Corvina crew. Jeff
Oh,
we-
Chef Jeff's gonna be involved.
Chef Jeff's involved
Oh,
on
nice.
the ideation and and training and execution side. Chef David, who's been with us since Tavolino's, he's actually coming back to his old stomping
Oh,
grounds.
amazing.
He's going to be the executive chef here.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
We've got actually, it's very ancestral. One of our former bartenders from Tavolino's who worked with us way back when, her husband, who we adore, is our GM.
Oh, great.
Cool.
So like it's everybody who's going to
Keeping it in
be
the family.
here is going to be somebody
Familiar faces.
that's been with
And
us.
that's
Yeah.
what people loved about this place.
and that's what's important is keeping that
About what it was.
that idea of family and keeping. I don't want people to think this is this corporate place that has no heart or no soul.
Right. It's
You're going to
family.
see us here, very often. At the end of the day, my offices are still upstairs. So
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
And even though you have
Yeah, 'cause you
this
still have Prezzo, you have
growing portfolio
the
of
multiple
restaurants that
Prezzos,
you're
Vina.
running, managing, have interests in, and doing a bang up job with all of them. But it's nice to come home again.
Mhm.
And so it's also nice to hear that you will be featuring seasonal seafood specialties,
said fresh.
rotating.
He said fresh, and
Super
again,
fresh.
out west,
There's nothing.
when we have fish places, if it is fresh, I don't believe, I don't expect fresh.
So the
like,
problem out west, and I'll kind of like brush on that a little
Yeah,
bit,
yeah.
is Coral Springs is what they call a 2-night town. And to put it simply, Friday
I
and
laugh because it's true.
Friday and Saturdays,
Oh.
you are like line out the door crazy, and we're very cognizant of
So
that.
you're talking
being
about that date I had in 1998. But, it was 2 night. Anyway,
So we're so like
Monday,
we're very
Tuesday,
aware
Wednesday,
of like
Thursday, yes.
what the city
Sunday.
is, and that's why it's sometimes difficult to have those places that have fresh seafood because you might not necessarily push through it those days.
Yeah.
But we're fortunate that we have Corvina.
right.
Can
that-
make use of it.
We could, if we, for whatever reason we need to transfer anything over,
Short
move
truck right away.
move
and you
stuff
get-
around,
yeah.
or it gives us kind of that little extra comfort level without
And the purveyors that you use there, again, they're talking
Same people.
relationships with
Mhm.
the local fishermen, people who are straight off the boats, and all the other good local quality products. You'll have like everything, right? Stone crabs during stone
Yep.
crab season.
Oh, yeah.
wow.
I imagine you'll bring
oysters, East Coast, West Coast, tuna crudo, just obviously calamari
Yep.
I like
and
the whole thing. Wow.
Yeah, it's
Faroe Island salmon, yellowtail
lots
snapper,
of seafood
yeah.
pasta, I imagine, which is
Seafood
my
pasta,
favorite.
lobster pasta.
Frutta di mare.
We've got a
and
crab,
lobster
blue
fraviolo.
crab bruschetta that chef's putting on the menu.
Oh,
nice.
nice.
So-
Okay.
Oh man. I'm getting
This
stoked.
should be something special. And you said you've already been working on developing the
Oh, yeah.
menu.
Yeah, we have it. We have a blueprint kind of listed out that it's like a shared document that we kind of all go back and forth with, tweaking here and there. And Chef Jeff's been running some specials over at Corvina, testing things out, and David's throwing his little twirl in here because he knows kind of what it was
What
like here
worked, yeah.
previously. So like, I think the collaboration between the three of us is really going to be special.
Nice.
And then factor in, obviously with Paul coming on board with us now.
Yeah. So Paul will be involved.
Yeah, Paul's involved here with us as well, and
So you're gonna do because you talked about the wine cellar. So I feel like you're gonna have a wine locker.
Mhm.
So you're gonna have a high level wine program.
yeah, so we're going to be going for the Wine Spectator Award.
Oh wow.
Which there's, I think Cooking the Cork, who I love.
Oh, the
I was
great
gonna say
couple.
another place
They've,
Dana and
Dina
Dina
and
and Keith. Yeah, of course.
they've
Red
got
Rose.
they've got the Wine Spectator Award. I don't think there's another restaurant in Coral Springs that has been able to qualify for it. So that's one of our goals to
Yeah,
get
and
that. And
Coral Springs is a big community. It's like over 150,000 people.
plus
like 100
Parkland, yeah.
Yeah, plus Parkland. So it's a major area. And look, guilty as charged. I'm one of those people that always lived, south.
I don't drive
southeast.
west.
Yeah, I
there's
started-
too much out this way. We
Just
hear it all
because
the time.
I could get a JetBlue flight to JFK that arrives quicker
knew
than
people
some
do that.
days. The 95 is jumped out.
Unbelievable.
I love Coral Springs. I love this row. I love Cooking the Cork. I love Runyon's. I love Arun's Indian Kitchen. Gonna stop off after the show today and bring home some
Nice.
takeout back to
Yeah,
Fort
you did a great
Lauderdale
job.
because that place is great. So I mean, there is no lacking in culinary quality here. It's just a matter of getting the people to come out to eat maybe every night of the week, or getting that culture going, which you do see some in places like Boca and Fort Lauderdale, where it's, I guess, more touristy or more retirees and things like that.
Yeah, you have that. You have a little bit more office space out there, a little bit more business parties and whatnot. So, we do have, fortunately, a lot of good relationships with a lot of the local businesses who, I feel that we've got 2 different private rooms that we're going to offer to people. So I think we'll be able to, kind of bring in a lot of what we initially had before we sold it in 2019 with those off days, those Monday to Thursdays and whatnot.
And I'm feeling immediate, shame and regret for never having come up here when I was the dining critic for the Sun Sentinel. I know it had been reviewed very favorably by predecessors of mine. I probably should have just come up here for my own edification, but I'll make up for lost time as soon as Eddie and Vinny's opens, and I won't make too many wisecracks about the commute. Just a couple.
We'll pay for your Uber.
It's not that far. Again, you're not far from 595.
It's probably fastest to go.
You know what?
To the Sawgrass, it won't take long.
Every time I punch it in from it always says go 595 and around the flank move, the Norman Schwarzkopf flank move. Even though it's more mileage, it's much quicker than navigating some of these lights. And it really was a breeze coming down the Sawgrass and across 595. So
we'll stamp your passports.
It's worth the drive.
We have a lot out here. Look, and we've talked with you before, and Mayo sort of makes faces because I'm an Italian, like American classic guy, and they turn their faces up, and you're going to do amazing things. What about, the chicken parms and the stuff of that
chicken
nature?
parms not going anywhere.
Yeah. Okay.
Right.
No, I'm not asking for it. I'm not expecting it.
It's going to be there. It's going to be there. It's like I said earlier. Like we need to have those classics. We are in an area that stuff is still popular. So we're going to be, we'll have chicken parm. We're going to have a lot of those classics that we'll be able to do.
Or something like that.
Yeah, and not to mention, at the end of the day, our kitchen is a 100% scratch kitchen.
Nice.
So if somebody comes in and says, "I want a chicken marsala,"
they'll be able to do it.
That's easy to make. It's like, you get some marsala lines.
So you'll be willing to go off menu.
Yeah, will, as long
they
as
want to make.
I'm not saying that you're going. You're saying
they've always been like that.
I get it.
The name of his company is Pozzuoli Hospitality.
I know. I've been
They're
there.
in the business of yes. So like when he says, "Oh, can you make a chicken? Whatever it is, a chicken Milanese or
chicken
piccata." Hey, Doc. We're doing a little live stream show. It's all
great
good
dentist.
here. Oh, good. My dad and grandfather were dentists.
That'll work well, actually.
All right.
But no, it's just I like that the same way that if I go up to a bar, let's say Lubie, and I want a Bloody Mary, if they can assemble a Bloody Mary for me at any time, even if it's not brunch time, I always appreciate that. So again, if you're going to be in the yes business,
as long as it's within reason, we at any of the restaurants, we never say no to people. It's all a matter of what we can do for you, and if it's not exactly that, we'll present an option that hopefully will be okay, and if it's not okay, then at least we know we tried.
Well, some people are whatever. The people that I see on Let's Eat who are never happy about anything, they love to have things to complain about. We're going to go through a quick checklist here because I always say the less things to complain about, the better. When Eddie and Vinny's Coastal Italian opens, will there be any automatic gratuity or service charges added? No,
unless it's a large party.
I was going to say,
6
don't
or
say
more.
no.
Yeah, that's the standard.
Like 12 people.
It'll probably be 8 or more.
Right.
That's that's our general standard across all the restaurants. If we do host a private event where there's a fixed menu or something like that, when it's 15, 20 people, you have a coordinator, and there's a surcharge associated with that because that's it's a commission really for the event coordinator.
And will there be any kind of credit card surcharges? No. Okay. And again, build things into the price and just let people do what they're accustomed to doing.
Okay.
Oh, bread service. A lot of places now are charging for a loaf of bread or
we're gonna do
house baked bread.
We're gonna have complimentary service.
Okay.
However, there's gonna be an option for like
a
enhanced, enhanced bread service or whatever you want to call it to kind of give that option. But at the end of the day, it is a very high cost items.
It's a product that costs money to
you
do
know,
well.
that you're
Like,
giving
do good,
away.
you're ready to do good.
artisanal bread does not grow on trees.
So
It
it's, you know,
sometimes grows wheat stalks.
the labor
but
hours to create it and,
Yeah.
and bake
Yeah.
it and all that kind of stuff. So, you know, we want to, in most Italian restaurants, some are charging,
Oh yeah.
but most are able to give it away for free or give something away for free. And that's our intention, is obviously to provide something of,
Yeah.
you know, of value. But anybody that does want something a little bit more enhanced, whether it's some additional dipping sauces or
Right.
something like that, or different types of bread, or we'll have that there as well.
There you go. Well, it's on to Coral Springs, Sample Road. I forget the address. The 101 block, is that correct?
10171
There you go. Of
West Sample
West
Road.
And let
Sample.
me-
Let's take our.
Yeah,
we'll
let's take a
take a
break.
break.
No,
I
take a
thought
break,
we were
yeah.
going to do a
No,
mini.
we're doing our show. We have
Next thing
Eddie.
I
We
know,
can go.
we're doing
we
a
can
full
do-
show.
we're
I
talking.
can talk all
It's
day.
I
Eddie.
What are you
thought
talking
without eating that I would be
We-
done in 2 seconds, but no.
No,
there's
I'm
still,
super
I don't have anything
stoked,
for you to
like-
take a big bite out of.
Nah, sorry.
The guy from Tavolino's might have left something in the kitchen.
I saw he got the pizza probably from across the street. Are you guys going to do any pizzas?
We
or
won't
no?
have pizza.
No
here.
pizza.
No
okay.
pizza.
Okay.
Maybe flatbreads on like a
A
bar
focaccia
menu. Yeah,
bread,
something like
a
that. but,
special focaccia. But yeah,
um,
there's others in the neighborhood that are already doing that.
Yeah,
so
which is fine.
you know, you're going to carve out your own niche.
yeah,
and
we,
it's
you know,
gonna
we
be,
have our friends across the street at
Just say,
Sicilian
no, does a
Oven.
nice
They're,
job.
they're the best. We
Yeah, we
love
love
them.
Sicilian
Yep,
Oven.
it's all
And,
good.
You know, it's all a matter of fitting in within the community, because
That's it.
you know, I almost want to pick up where we left off, because
Right.
everybody in this community is truly like amazing, and we love Runyons, we love Cooking the Cork, we love Wings Plus, we love
Yeah,
Sicilian
Wings
Oven. Like,
Plus.
Yep.
you know,
It's a
everybody that's
neighborhood,
on the street,
and
like,
everybody helps each
we
other.
all have each other's cell phone numbers. You
Oh,
know,
wow,
If
that's
somebody
it's-
runs out of sugar, you call the guy across the street and you could get some more.
yeah, it's
right?
it's never been a, well, you're taking my business or you're
Contentious,
doing
right.
this, and
And
I think that's why it always works.
I always love that, hear that, because the collaborative spirit, even though you are obviously in competition for this, you know, people, but the rising tide, it
Yep.
lifts all the
Exactly.
boats, and
Well,
if
you want
everybody
stuff
is
here.
good, everybody will start gravitating here.
Mhm.
Even people from
From
all the
out
way
east.
out southeast, like me.
Exactly.
All right, let's take the first break, and we'll be back, and we'll catch up more with Eddie Pozzuoli about some of his other restaurants and what's going on for the holiday season after these words on the Lunchbox. A sophisticated setting. I'm talking about Corvina Seafood Grill. It's at 110 Plaza Real South in Boca Raton, just south of Palmetto Park Road. It's the place to go for the freshest and local seafood and fish, some of it with a Peruvian twist like their great ceviches. It's open 7 days for dinner. They also have happy hour 7 days a week. You don't want to miss it. It's a great place. CorvinaBocaRaton.com for more information and reservations. Tell them the Lunchbox sent you.
Is it time to sell your business? You've poured your heart and soul into your restaurant or business, and you want to see continue the legacy you have built. Transworld can help. Call me, Andy Cagnetta, at Transworld Business Advisors right now and see if it's time for you to retire and relax. Iconic brands like the Mai Kai, Mulligan's, Carlos and Pepe's, Mangoes, and many more turn to Transworld to help sell. Contact Transworld on Facebook or call 954-772-1122 or visit tworld.com. Again, that's 954-772-1122 or tworld.com.
When I'm looking for some wicked good food for a wicked good lunch, there's only one place to go. That's Wicked Cheesesteaks in Fort Lauderdale. It's at 4824 North Federal Highway, just south of Commercial Boulevard and across from Holy Cross Hospital. My friend Brian there, he will hook you up with some really tasty treats. They've got cheesesteaks, just like the best you can find in Philly, along with lobster rolls, because that's where he's from, Maine originally. And they have wings and pizza and everything you want to have a really good time. Wicked Cheesesteaks, they're open every day but Tuesday. Check them out online, wickedcheesesteaks.com. Tell them the Lunchbox sent you. If you're looking for a great place for steaks, seafood, and more, go to Tropical Acres Steakhouse and Butcher Shop. It's at 2500 Griffin Road in Dania, just west of I-95 and the airport. They've been there a long time, since 1949. That means they're doing something right. You'll get old school hospitality from the Studiali family, along with great value, tremendous service. Of course, you could also go into the bar for happy hour every day, 4 to 6, and they have great value all night long. Also, a butcher shop that's open every day from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m., except Sunday. The dining room is open every day at 4:30, except Sunday. Go to Tropical Acres. Tell them the Lunchbox sent you. All right, we're back on the Lunchbox at the soon to be open, Eddie and Vinny's Coastal Italian Restaurant in Coral Springs.
So
It is
before you
taking
move,
shape. Yes.
Mr. Mayo, onto the other great establishments that the one and only Eddie Pozzuoli and the Pozzuoli firm manages and handles and owns and deals with. One thing those places are known for, and you've dubbed him something you grew up with in New York, and it's
Crazy
fitting,
Eddie.
Crazy Eddie. It
giving
started
it
with
away.
Prezzo. Prezzo had great specials.
Social hour,
And then with
50% off everything.
Corvina, he's like, screw all that. We're going to another freaking level, and
Right.
it's been a storm this whole summer into fall. I know this is a whole different kind of place, Eddie and Vinny's. What kind of things, anything of that nature, happy hours, anything like that, can people look forward to with Eddie and Vinny's?
I mean, as far as the the crazy pricing and whatnot, we'll have a happy hour. That goes without saying. But outside of that, where the idea here is to provide an elevated,
Yeah, it's a whole different experience.
elevated dining experience with entertainment and
Yeah,
all that kind of
nightlife.
stuff. So I don't know. If
I think the key is because so many people know and love this place, there's going
Yeah,
to
it's a whole
be
different ball of
high
wax.
interest and high demand right from the start. And any businessman knows that if there's high demand, you don't
Yeah, you don't
necessarily
need all
need
that.
to tweak up the supply
Juice the wheels.
side. Corvina, on the other hand, was in Boca, and you needed to kind of make a name for yourself because that's a very competitive market on that
yeah, and then
east side.
it's the third year being opened over there, so we needed to kind of raise awareness or bring
Yeah,
people back that might have not
It made
enjoyed
a
their
name for
experience
itself.
And you
People
did.
are talking about it. People are lining up out the door every day
Every
at
day.
5. And
love
before
that.
we get into the nitty gritty, well, the details are it's going to be changing a little bit, shifting next week, right? At Corvina, again, that's 110 Plaza Real South in Boca Raton, just south of Palmetto Park Road, and we've been in there several times.
Oh,
The
no,
food
we
is
love it.
fantastic, and again, over the summer, and it's been so popular that you're going to just continue it all year. Well,
Yeah,
all
we're,
season
We're going to
long.
continue it. It's obviously going to come with an asterisk. It'll be beginning at 4:00, ending
Right.
at 5 at the
Right.
dinner
Makes
tables.
sense.
So if you really want to get that deal, you're going to come at 4. And,
Right, why not?
And
But
then
still going on in the bar area, high
Correct.
tops till 6.
till 6. So
Okay.
it'll take place of what was called happy hour.
Yeah.
Right.
So it'll still be
Social hour.
Yeah, it'll be available at the bar. So you walk in. The intention for that is I want people to walk into that restaurant and see a full bar
Yep.
at 6:00 at night and say, man, this place is jammed.
Yep.
It's the first thing you see when you walk in, and there's nothing like the vibe
It
and
gives
energy of a
energy.
full
Yeah,
bar.
that
And
place.
I can't tell you how many people say when they go into a restaurant that's empty, they feel like
sad.
they're in
Yeah.
a sad place
Yep.
and they turn around without
Yep.
even giving it a chance. And just to get the energy going is so key.
Huge.
So that's great. And again, so next week, not only is the social hour changing to 4 p.m. and you can still make reservations online. Is it
Mhm.
open table?
So that will be the
Resi.
restaurant.
Resi.
And that will be within the restaurant 4 to
Resi.com.
5.
Four
Corvina.
to
you-
4:45 will be the
4 to
last.
You could do a booking every day that it's open, and now it is open every day next week,
Yep,
starting
beginning next week. Yeah, Monday.
Monday the 2nd or Monday the
No, Monday the week of Thanksgiving,
The week of Thanksgiving.
and then we're closed on Thanksgiving Day. So
Okay, it's going to be Monday the 25th is going to be open, and now the new hours 7 days a week, but not open for Thanksgiving Day at Corvina.
mhm.
What's the Christmas, New Year's Eve, New Year's Day?
New Year's
around
Eve,
there?
we're going to be we finalized that today. We have a fixed price menu
Nice.
that we're going to be doing $125 a
Nice.
head. And it'll come with the hats and the noisemakers and all
Yeah.
that kind of stuff. It'll be 4 courses with the champagne
Little
toast.
champagne toast.
Oh,
yeah.
nice.
And your traditional New Year's Eve fixed menu kind of situation, obviously with Corvina's amazing seafood, and we'll
Yeah,
have
that's right.
we'll have steak option on there as well. For those guests that don't necessarily enjoy seafood.
Do you get the silly glasses? Because now it's gotten much harder.
Well,
It was
yeah, it'll be
easy
hard to
when
do
the 0, 0,
20,
20. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now the 2 gets in the way of your right pupil. It's just not the same.
No, it
but
doesn't work like that.
Yeah. All right. And then let's go to Prezzo. What's going on the holidays?
So we've
at
got
Prezzo?
great specials for Thanksgiving at the Prezzos. It's kind of become a lot
Open
of,
for
So you're
Thanksgiving.
open Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
it's become people's comfort place for
Yeah.
Thanksgiving. We actually have quite a few large parties booked already.
Oh, that's
and
amazing.
people that don't necessarily want to cook and they
Yeah.
know they've done it in the past, whether
Yeah.
they've done it in 2023 or 2022 or whatever it is. Like we've always kind of been that
that place for people that don't want to cook, or that some people who are widowed or whatever. It's
it's just kind of like, we want to be that like hometown place for everybody. So same with Christmas. And
do you do for Thanksgiving at Prezzo's? Do you do like
food?
Yeah, the turkey and ham, or turkey and stuffing. Okay,
and you have your normal menu.
And then for people who like the Italian, the lasagna, the meatballs,
you can like combine worlds.
It'll be a full menu, but with chef specials, because every week we do chef specials.
Can you make me a turkey parmesan?
I'm sure we'll get the question.
It may be interesting.
Hey, if they love chicken parm, why wouldn't they love turkey parm? Turkey tetrazzini was one of my favorite leftover meals from Thanksgiving. But did you ever have that in your household? Tetrazzini? You know what that is?
I have no idea what that is.
You take the leftover turkey carcass and you take all the, it's not, it's just any meat that's left, and you put it basically on top of a pasta casserole.
Yep.
And it's with kind of like it's not with a red sauce, but it's a little bit of cheese and a little bit of gravy. Like you could use like a gravy thing. Probably could toss some green beans in there too. Nobody would know the difference.
But I never had it at a restaurant.
Yeah, no, I used to be one of my family's like leftover Thanksgiving week meals, and I loved it. I loved because anytime I get a baked pasta dish, makes me happy.
As Eddie knows.
And Prezzo Christmas Eve,
Christmas Day, the whole nine. We'll be open for with full menu. So those days, once again, it's one of those like comfort days. Instead of Chinese food, they're getting Italian food.
Yep.
There's not many Italian restaurants that are open.
Right. Christmas.
On Christmas, and it it ends up being a great night for everybody.
Knocked out,
even with to-go business last year, we got
slammed. Good.
Really?
We like to hear that.
It was like
catering. I mean, I could consider, first of all, just me and my
wife. Do you
wife,
do things like pans of meatballs or baked ziti to go?
Yeah, we do that. I mean, we do it primarily for like offices and whatnot.
Right.
However, on Christmas Eve last year, we got destroyed on Uber Eats.
Wow.
Because you go on Uber Eats to order something, and so many places are closed.
I wouldn't figure that, but you're right. Once it's the only game in town, they're going to be coming. Yeah.
Unexpected, and it got a little.
This year,
hairy.
you're ready.
We're ready for it this year.
Okay.
Yeah. Ran out of pizza by 8 o'clock.
Oh, really? Oh, God.
Well, I guess. I mean, it's not good problems to have if people want a pizza.
But it was a learning experience.
People have to be understanding that on holidays, sometimes supplies are limited. So
we'll be ready for it this year.
Okay, that sounds good. How's Palm Beach Gardens doing? I mean,
phenomenal. I mean, the season's starting to kick up there as well. Team's been doing great. We have our fall menu, which launched about 3 weeks ago up there. It's going fantastic. And this weekend or Monday, we have our fall menu launching in Boca. So,
nice.
Just every fall we make some tweaks to the menu and maneuver some stuff around, change some wording and all that kind of
adjustments.
Stuff. Exactly. And based on really what the guests are, kind of the feedback we get and what works, what doesn't work, and we listen to everybody and make those changes.
Still waiting for that first cold front that's allegedly been coming.
Friday, right?
Yeah, they keep saying Thursday, Friday.
The team is supposed to. We'll have our heaters out by Friday.
Oh, really?
That was a conversation today.
Minestrone soup ready to go. Pasta fagioli.
They're saying it's gonna be in the 50s.
Really?
Yeah.
It's supposed to be 50s.
Is like snowing.
No, 50s cold here.
I'm really excited for that because you know what, Lubie? Today I bought my ugly Santa Christmas sweater at BJ's Wholesale Club, $19.99. And as soon as it gets crispy outside, I'm gonna throw that on and wear it for a Lunchbox episode because you know me, I am just Mr. Holiday Season Spirit. They call me the Anti-Grinch. I am so happy all the time. Hey, let's take our second break. Before we do, I got to put in the good word about our friends at the Visit Lauderdale Food and Wine Festival. Now that you're down back here in Broward, we're going to have to maybe get you linked up after you get
I don't know. It's a long drive, right?
It's a long drive. Oh, geez.
I know. This is the
covers the whole county. And Phil and Kate, I'm sure, for next year's festival. I can't believe for the 2026, I'm already talking about that. But they're always looking for places to sign up for their intimate dinners. I think Cook and the Cork did it one year.
Yeah, we'll definitely do
something.
And whether it's with Chef Jeff or Chef David.
Or we get you involved somehow. If you're not even open yet, but you can get your branding out there. This year they're having a brunch. So maybe, I don't know if you're ever going to have a brunch at Eddie and Vinny's.
We intend on it. We want to do a cool jazz brunch.
Okay.
Oh, nice.
Maybe put out a little frittata. All these kinds of events are going to be part of Visit Lauderdale Food and Wine Festival coming up right after the holidays. Before you know it, January 13th through 19th, it starts with all these great intimate dinners around town. and then continues with some of the big ticket signature events. And 5 of those events, you can use the special discount promo code Lunchbox. If you type that in when you go to get your tickets at Eventbrite, first go to vlfoodwine.com to see the whole listing of events. Click on the events that you want to get tickets to, and then when you're ready to check out, put in where it says promo code Lunchbox. You'll get an extra 15% off savings. The already low ticket prices makes a perfect stocking stuffer for the food lover in your life. Again, vlfoodwine.com, like Visit Lauderdale, vlfoodwine.com. Check out all the events, get your tickets, use your promo code, save money, eat, live well, have fun, happy holidays, vlfoodwine.com.
And we are what will be Eddie and Vinny's Coastal Italian here in the heart of Coral Springs. We're back with Eddie Pozzuoli here on Mike Mayo's Lunchbox after this.
A little further inland, Luke's Seafood and Grill. That's Luke's with a C, 5511 South University Drive in Davie. Luke and Roxy, they're a great couple with great food. It's a mom and pop shop bringing the freshest fish and seafood to Western Broward. Some of the best jambalaya and fish cakes around. And Scooby-Dooby-Doo, where are you? You can find his famous Scoobies, those sauteed crab claws, right there on the specials board most days. Oh, so good. So take a trip to University just north of Sterling today. Lunch, dinner closed on Mondays. Tell them Mike Mayo's Lunchbox sent you. When people come to me and say, Mike, where should I go out to eat? I got guests coming from out of town. Where should we go? Cafe Seville. That's the answer. 2768 East Oakland Park Boulevard. It's a Fort Lauderdale perennial, serving the finest in Spanish and continental cuisine in a cozy, friendly, comfortable setting. Joey Esposito and Sally, his better half, they've been running the place for a long time. It's been open since the 1980s. They got great Spanish classics like paella, shrimp with garlic sauce, and all kinds of great seafood dishes. The stuffed veal chop, oh, that's my favorite. Go to Cafe Seville. It's open every day but Sunday at 5 p.m. for dinner. Tell them that the Lunchbox Mayo and Defo sent you. Freshest fish, Delaware Chicken Farm and Seafood Market, located at 4191 North State Road 7 in Hollywood, open 7 days. Since 1951, a South Florida tradition for stone crab in season, Thanksgiving turkeys, holiday feasts, and everyday eating. Great steaks, house-made sausage, and prepared foods, too. Delaware is not just a market, it's a celebration of taste, quality, and old-fashioned customer service with a smile. Sign up for their weekly email flyer at DelawareChicken.com and tell them Mike Mayo and the Lunchbox sent you. When the Brooklyn boy in me wants a great bagel with lox, matzo ball soup, deli sandwich, and rugelach, you know where I go? Grandpa's Restaurant in Dania Beach. It's a South Florida institution since 1957 that was revamped a few years back by a pair of New York bagel baking legends. Full deli and appetizing case with spreads, salads, and platters for takeout and catering. Grandpa's is near Federal Highway just north of Sterling Road, open 7 days for breakfast and lunch. Go eat and enjoy. It's Mike Mayo's Lunchbox approved. For the finest and authentic Greek cuisine, Taverna Kima is the place to go. 6298 North Federal Highway in Boca Raton. It's been around for nearly 2 decades. Every day is a feast with grilled lamb and fish, house-made spinach pie and moussaka, gyros, traditional dips, mezes, with soft, warm pita. It's open 7 days for lunch and dinner with happy hour daily from 3 to 6 p.m., indoor, outdoor, private dining, and they are now featuring a monthly lamb roast brunch on the first Sunday of every month. So celebrate life at Taverna Kima. For reservations and information, go to tavernakima.com. We're back again on a late edition of the Lunchbox. We'll call it Happy Hour edition. We're drinking
without
our
drinks.
imaginary cocktails, but
The
that's
next
okay.
time we're here, we will.
We had some margaritas earlier today at Taco Craft, Lauderdale by the Sea. It was nice.
Came to the Coral Springs one,
happening
right
there.
down the
Yeah,
street.
I know. Well,
We
Boss
tried
said I
to,
wanted
something
to be there,
happened.
but that's okay.
Believe me,
It all
I love
works
that
out.
spot.
Again, we're at the new Eddie and Vinny's Sample Road, 101 West Sample 101. I'm
That's
gonna get it one of these
But that's
days.
actually interesting. Like you guys are, and people out east are gonna make fun of us, but people out here, we've been waiting on this freaking downtown for a long time, and Taco Craft really was the beginning of what. I drove by because I don't always drive this way. You could see it coming together. It's right around here.
Oh yeah,
Like that
maybe a half a
downtown
mile.
is the kind of thing that all these places I feel like are going to feed off of.
Yeah,
No,
I mean, there's
it's-
hundreds of multifamily units being built over there,
Yep.
and with the Whole Foods coming on the northwest corner now.
Oh, we're getting a Whole Foods. Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's the Whole Foods is moving from Atlantic and
I hate that
University.
location. It's a pain
They're
in the-
moving closer. Yeah, they're moving closer to Parkland.
That's great.
All right.
So-
So it's again, whoever I was always amused when I was a news columnist, and this is back in the early 2005, when you were still going off to college. People were saying, "Oh, Broward is built out," and I just laughed. I said, "Have you ever been to New York?
You can go up.
It's like you go up."
We'll go into the Everglades
I said,
more,
I
don't
still
we?
see lots of open, empty spaces,
so
and
when
they
we
keep
s-
building, and people keep moving here.
When we sold this restaurant, Tavolino's, back in 2019, Parkland, these neighborhoods hadn't even been built yet.
Right? They were golf courses.
They were just, they were just finishing, like Watercrest and
Right.
Parkland.
Yep.
Parkland Bay was like just starting to be built, and
Yep.
now there's like, 3 or 4 other communities that are built and
Yep.
100% sold.
I get a little
And-
claustrophobic sometimes when they start building the zero lot line developments,
Mhm.
but I like a front yard. I like a
Yeah,
swimming pool,
obviously,
but but they're still building it, and people are still coming, and that's why you got to eat. That's it. You're going to need all the restaurants, and that's why it's great that we're going to have Eddie and Vinny's back. All right. To get back to your first question of the day, what is Shafafa? I'm going back to the opening song that it's called the Frim Fram Sauce.
Ah,
And it was a hit first made famous by the Nat King Cole Trio in the 1940s, remade by Diana Krall, who's Elvis Costello's wife, in 1992. First lyric: I don't want French fried potatoes, red ripe tomatoes. I'm never satisfied. I want the Frim Fram sauce with the os and fay with chafafa on the side.
Okay, so it's not a thing?
And the Wikipedia explanation is that journalist Bill Sapphire in 2002, great noted linguist columnist for the New York Times. And this is, I'm sure, fascinating to you,
Eddie's
Eddie.
already bored. You didn't
lost
mean to
me.
ask.
But William
He was
Sapphire
just joking.
said the Frim Fram sauce was a variant of flim flam or deceit, and usenfe was Pig
Okay.
Latin for fussing,
Okay.
meaning playing about fretfully. And Diana Krall was quoted as saying the meaning of shafafa is it's all about sex.
Oh,
So-
there you go.
okay.
That's the shafafa on
Sex
the
on the
Every
side.
conversation goes back to sex.
And food and romance, sensuality
very
go hand in
intertwined.
hand. So the short answer to your question, what is shafafa, is sex.
There
So
you go.
there we go. Was that worth the detour?
No,
I think
definitely
not.
not. I think a
It's
little.
okay. At least we all
I think a
learned
little.
something.
Education and enlightenment. That's the name of the game. All right. You said here, this is actually you've kind of kept a lot of the hood, the vents, the gas light. So because it's considered just a remodel.
A remodel,
It's not a
not a
rebuilding.
new build.
Yeah. So, and just take us through the ins and outs of that. And,
So the whole goal was to be able to turn around and get open quick, but also we wanted to make sure that when you walked into the restaurant, it didn't feel like the same place.
You did want it to feel new.
So, there was a lot of kind of hoops that we jumped through to try to figure out, okay, what are we going to do to, make this change? Because we knew the bar couldn't move.
Man,
If we were to move the bar,
It's a whole
that's
thing.
several $100,000
Yeah.
and months of
Right.
additional.
Yep. Construction.
just-
oh my god.
Yeah.
And it's just
Permitting.
it turns into a little bit of a nightmare. And
Yep.
we still had to pull permits and everything, and we're doing everything right. But what we did was we made sure that anything that we knew would take a long time,
yeah.
we left in place. And
Okay.
anything that we felt that obviously without affecting the
Yeah.
business
Right.
negatively.
But
You
like
know,
the bones were still
Yeah,
the
good
you know,
shape,
bones are
the hood
there,
system,
which is a big
but
deal.
moving the private dining area and moving where the stage is and the dancing and kind of
that stuff's,
entertainment
that stuff's
lounge.
easy.
Yeah.
And where it becomes difficult is when you start moving entry and exit doors, when you start moving gas lines, and you start
Oh,
moving
yeah.
like
yeah.
sub-grade plumbing
gas,
and
electricity,
anything regarding
vents.
fire and all of that
Yeah.
stuff. That's where it becomes very difficult. And then you're talking to not only the city but the county and back and forth.
Yep.
And so we wanted to be very cognizant of that, and we did have to add 2 additional air conditioning units.
Oh wow.
Being that one side of the restaurant was open previously, it was that side wasn't currently at code.
Okay.
Mm.
So on the main dining room side, we did have to increase the tonnage of air
Bring it up
conditioning
to code.
over there to bring it up to code, which is fine, and that's
Fine.
that's all been done. And
how involved are you in all? Because it feels like you just said all of it out loud, so it means you're definitely involved to a great deal. But it, like, as someone who's had work done on my home, like, you pay contractors, but a lot of the time you become the guy, the freaking GC, like the project manager, to make sure everything.
So I'm fortunate that I have my dad here as well.
Okay.
Because that's kind of like in his retirement. I was like,
hey,
hey,
Dad.
Does he set up like a lawn chair and an umbrella,
Oh,
just
my
sit out there
God.
with his little Diet Coke and
construction
say,
people will screw.
oh, well, you got to see him here. The guys are milking the clock. They're,
Yeah,
they're
for
trying to
sure.
like, they're taking 3 hours to put in one nail.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
he's there, like, making sure
Yeah.
everything's taken care of.
I could see
and-
him
No, your
being
dad's
very good in
very
that
good.
role.
Yeah, he likes to really
Zets, as
like
we
to
say.
push. So,
Yiddish.
we're very fortunate that I have him, as my like an intermediary
Yes,
for me.
another set of eyes.
But when I'm here, I know everything that's going on. Like, I don't want to know something that changes, because like in the future, say there's a leak or something, or something happens.
Yeah.
I want to know
right away.
where the stuff is.
Yep.
Right.
Where does this pipe go? What does this do? Like, and
Yeah.
and I need to kind of feel and touch everything, so I'm comfortable.
Right. And again,
moving
since this has been in the family, a lot
place,
about
yep.
me when I owned my home. It was an older home, and I learned on the fly, especially when I was putting in a pool. It's like, oh, that's where the sewage line runs, and as it's spewing out all the sewage.
That's another thing. It's like, we knew what worked here
Nice.
in the past. So like when it came to designing the space with the interior designer, which was great because, we sometimes you think an interior designer isn't necessarily the best way to spend money, but like at the end of the day, they deliver you something that is just,
They're professionals, and they do something
from the light fixtures to the
Yeah.
wall coverings to the
huge.
baseboards to the furniture, and tying it all together. So, kind of giving her what we need from the space,
Yeah.
Yep.
in like an efficiency way,
Yep.
and then having her kind of run with that and saying, okay,
right.
I'm going to put this here, do this. These are where the tables are going to go. This is going to accomplish what you guys asked for here. And so that was a little bit of an additional time delay.
But it's well worth it in
Exactly.
the long run, because
They come up with
they
something
take
you
a
won't always come
holistic
up with.
approach, and things come out well. Well, Eddie, my man, I cannot
I'm
wait to
so
see the
freaking
finished
excited, man.
product. Hopefully,
Thanks for
about
allowing us to be
2
here for
months
this.
from now. We do appreciate the sneak peek. I mean, look, people's got to understand. People, guests need to understand that there's so much that goes into a restaurant, so many details that even before it's open and serving food, that there's all these things that have to be taken into account and considered, and and then also eventually cost recouped, and that's why things tend to be a little bit pricier than people want them to be, but still a place that delivers a great experience. In my mind, if you get great experience, great service, great food, that equals value. And like there's some place, I know Tavolino, just based on the reputation, and now going to be Eddie and Vinny's Coastal Seafood, one of those places that people will walk out floating on air after a Saturday night of full. You have a drink, cocktail at the bar, you have your meal, then you could listen to some entertainment and do a little dancing, and you go home floating, right?
Yes,
Is that
that's
the
the
idea?
goal.
That's the goal.
And I'll kind of touch on the for the people that don't understand the restaurant business. And I learned this a couple weeks ago. This is a great comparison. Somebody said the restaurant business is like multiple businesses put into one.
Yes.
We're technically in the manufacturing business, right?
Right.
So not only are we taking in perishable items to manufacture them into something to consume, then we have to sell that item within a certain amount of time. Otherwise,
it
goes bad. So you have businesses that might just do manufacturing, or businesses that might just do sales.
Right.
And, we're taking multiple businesses and kind of sticking it all into one.
And you got to make people happy and be a psychiatrist, psychologist all in one. Because when you go to the table, it's like, how can I make you happy?
So it really is
What
like,
seems to be,
and that's why I
the
think the common misconception is about restaurants. And, sometimes I think it's overthought that, you don't realize what goes into not only the build out, but just the day-to-day execution, where you truly are bringing in a raw material. making it into something else, hoping that it sells so it doesn't go bad,
Right.
and then
managing people, both the employees
and the guests. Yeah.
So that's not an easy endeavor.
No.
You're completely crazy, but this is coming from a man who spends my weekends looking up in bed, yelling at people on the Let's Eat group, but
So
not
we're
really
we're crazy together.
typing
That's
everything in. Eddie, it's been a pleasure. And again, if I was ever a restaurant consultant, which I'm not, I give unsolicited advice all the time, but you seem to be following through on two of my key tenets, which is number one, if you're going to be redoing a place, keep the bureaucrats at bay and the bureaucracy at a
Good job
minimum.
by you.
So it seems like you guys are doing that in terms of doing things the right way, but without having to go through too many
much
of
rigmarole, as they
the
say.
rigmarole. I love the word rigmarole.
I do
And number
very
two, give the guests less things to complain about.
much.
Put everything into the price of the dish.
He's always been
And
like that.
don't
He's always
have
good
a
about
bill
that.
that looks like a Spirit Airlines.
Or CVS, like a
yeah,
CVS
CVS.
receipt.
Yes, where
You got
you have
toothpaste and it's like 6
add-on
pages.
surcharge, the special air fee to breathe the purified air.
The biggest crooks of them all nowadays, I feel, is a lot of the fast casual spots. To be honest with you,
Yeah.
you go somewhere and you get a burger, you get fries, you get a
Right.
soda. You're $25.
Yeah.
For lunch,
So-
and you're like, wait a second, how'd that even get
How'd
there?
you get there?
And or you get a bowl, and it's you add this and you add this. All of a sudden, it's $22, and that's. I think there's sometimes like a psychological thing
Like a
there
there's a disconnect.
where like people might say, well, that's so expensive at your restaurant, but I'm like, what do you mean? I have
Yeah.
a server, I have busters, I have
Right.
bartenders.
You
I,
don't have to
you know,
get up
all
and
these
move a
people
muscle.
doing this, a hostess that sat you at the
Yeah,
table.
Right.
Whereas you're going here to this place, you're ordering at a counter,
Yeah.
paying
No, you hit
Way
the nail on
less
the head. And
overhead
not
and-
only that, where you have to go order, it comes up
clean your own
being
table.
25 a person. You gotta, get the buzzer and get your food. And then at the end of the payment process, it's the screen
throwing
that
you the
says
tip.
20%
you the
tip. And I was like, what?
They're
So-
throwing you the tip. Yeah.
So that I think that's been what I want to try to make an emphasis on as
Right.
the years go on, because how do we raise that awareness so that
That
people
there-
understand
There is
the
a
value.
difference between full service and places that are not full service but are still trying to nickel and dime
Mhm.
you. And I guess we've reached a tipping point when it comes to that. So
we
to speak.
100%
There you go.
have. Yeah,
There you
pun
go.
intended,
There
yeah.
you go. But again, full service places that do things the right way. I'm always happy
When
to
Eddie's
go
behind
to
that
places like
across the
that.
board.
So I'm looking forward to it. Eddie, do we got one more
We
break?
do.
But we're gonna
can let Eddie go.
let's do the well, I don't know if he's got soccer games to attend
He
or
has a family. He has a
I do
or
wife.
have
walls
soccer
to break
games to
down
attend.
or no,
Both.
all things. Let's take the final break and then we'll wrap up
after
this edition of the Lunchbox from Eddie and Vinny's Coastal Seafood Restaurant in Coral Springs. From a scratch kitchen, delicious drinks and house-made spirits from a craft bar, a great vibe inside and out with a spacious patio. I'm talking about Batch New Southern Kitchen and Tap, Fort Lauderdale, in the heart of the city at 525 North Federal Highway. It's open 7 days for lunch, dinner, and weekend brunch with classics like fried chicken and waffles and shrimp and grits, and creative items like pecan-crusted salmon and a fried green tomato BLT. And the drinks? Smooth sipping and so good. There's convenient free parking and a garage next door, happy hour at the bar, an entire patio, 4 to 7 Monday to Friday, and live music every Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. It's pet and people friendly and with cozy fire pits for when the temperature dips. For reservations and more information, go to batchsouthernkitchen.com. If you like seafood in a comfortable setting, outdoors, even keel fish shack at the corner of A1A and Commercial Boulevard in Lauderdale by the Sea, and also now with a new location on Las Olas Boulevard. Those are my spots. Upscale food in a down-home setting. The chef owners, Dave and Brad, do a terrific job with all the seafood classics that you want. They have the best grilled oysters in town, bang bang shrimp, lobster rolls, and deli fish specials. They also have weekend brunch Saturday and Sunday. They have deli happy hour 4 to 7, and they also have other weekly specials like mussels on Monday and oysters on Tuesday. Go to Even Keel Fish Shack and tell them that the Lunchbox sent you. Best restaurants in South Florida? Casa D'Angelo is always at the top of my list. First class dining, top flight service, elegant atmosphere, and chef founder Angelo Ilia is legendary. The flagship in Fort Lauderdale has been serving the finest Italian cuisine since 1997, with other locations in Boca Raton and Aventura. As Angelo himself says, they have an unwavering commitment to unparalleled quality with meticulous attention to details. It's so good with house-made pastas, pristine seafood, unique meats like elk chops and bison, and seasonal specialties including fragrant fresh truffles from Italy. All locations open 7 days for dinner. Reservations recommended for a special occasion or any occasion. Casa de Angelo. Tell them Mike Mayo sent you. Delicious Mexican food with innovative twists. Margaritas with a medley of tongue-tingling flavors. I'm talking about Taco Craft, Taqueria, and Tequila Bar. The place to go on Taco Tuesday and every day. It's located at 510 North Federal and Highway in Fort Lauderdale, and also in Lauderdale by the Sea at Plantation Walk, and soon in Coral Springs. Taco Craft has specials every day, including bottomless drinks for a Sunday brunch, and Taco Tuesdays with their $4 premium tacos, including their new burrito tacos with bone marrow broth. Oh, it's so good. They've even made a taco lover out of me, and they've got so much more, including fajitas, that open-face smashed cheeseburger tortilla that's new, and a guacamole sample that's an explosion of flavors. The kitchen is open late. There's delivery and takeout. For more information, go to tacocraft.com. Tell them Mike Mayo, the Lunchbox, sent you. Hey, it's Mayo for Gilbert's 17th Street Grill. You know me, I love family-run places with quality food at fair prices served with passion and pride. And that's why I love Gilbert's. For more than a decade, Lenore, Beth, and Richie Gilbert have been serving up the best burgers, wings, ribs, salads, and desserts. It's a fast casual spot. Everything prepared fresh to order from an immaculate open kitchen. They're at 1821 Cordova Road in Fort Lauderdale in the Cordova Shops just south of 17th Street. Open every day but Sunday. One of my favorite burgers in South Florida. Big, round, juicy pucks of 100% Angus beef, char grilled to perfection. And don't miss the sweet potato fries on the side. They're legendary. Go to Gilbert's, feast, and be happy. Tell them the Lunchbox sent you. All right, that's going to do it for today. I cannot wait for 2 months from now. And people are streaming up. It's like a job fair here. Eddie and Vinny's.
Anytime the doors are open, we're fortunate that we have a lot of our old employees kind of walking in and saying, "Hey, we miss you. We want to come back." And
good.
It's going to be. We're excited for the homecoming.
It's always good to get a veteran crew that knows a thing or two about what it used to be here. So looking forward to what's going to be here. And again, Eddie Pozzuoli, not just here with Eddie and Vinny's opening up soon in Coral Springs, but he's got Corvina Seafood Grill in Boca Raton, and he's got 2 Prezzos, one in Boca Raton and one up in Palm Beach Gardens, which, happy anniversary, 3 years this week. This week. And that whole Palm Beach Gardens area is just booming, and many, many more successful years, sir.
Knock on everything.
Thank you for having us in. It's always a treat.
This is really cool.
Sorry, the air's not on yet.
But no, it's all good.
Nice.
That's good. We almost have the cool front. All right, that's going to do it for tonight. Tomorrow, we're going to be at Luke's Seafood Grill in Davie, the hidden gem of University Drive, right behind the car wash in Davie at 5511 South University Drive. We'll be with Luke at 2:30 p.m. tomorrow, and we're going to be eating some of his great food, including the jambalaya that is just, in my mind, some of the best in town. So Luke's tomorrow, and then I can't even make my way to Thursday. Who knows what that's going to be. Eddie, thanks, my friend. We'll see you. Good luck. Happy Thanksgiving.
Yes,
happy holidays. We'll see you somewhere next month, I hope.
Somewhere. I'll be around.
Okay, and we will too. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. Enjoy every sandwich.